Hey guys, it's Jen with Cards Zen by Jen. Thank you so much for joining me for another fractured card. This is our card number 2 in our series of 3. This is actually the easiest fractured card. But first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Blaszak. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central PA. Right now, I am sharing with you some cards that I taught at my last in-person Sip and Stamp in Clearfield, Pennsylvania. The ladies learned how to do 3 different fractured cards in 3 different ways. This today is going to be the easiest one. So as you remember, if you watched card number 1, what did I do with card number 1? I set it aside somewhere. Hold on a second, I'll grab it. So card number 1 was the hardest because you started with your focal point and you put your strips and you used your strips almost like 2x4s to build where the rest of your paper should go. And then you could just set in your paper and cut off the excess before you adhere it onto your card base. So today's card is so much easier than that, ladies. So we are going to start with a piece of landscape paper, I call it. It's 6x6 paper. It's anything that has a pretty landscape background scene, just something that's going to hit really in like all 4 quadrants. So I picked out this. This is from Meandering Meadows, I believe. Thoughtful Journey also, the Thoughtful Journey paper is 6x6. It also has some really beautiful pieces. I think this was from Thoughtful Journey, but this is from Meandering Meadow. Let me bring in my trimmer. So we're going to cut this down. So this is starting off as a 6x6. And what I want to do is I want to cut this down. It's going to end up being 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm deciding which piece I want to keep, and I want to keep this one. So it's going to be 4 this way, and then it's going to be 5 1/4. And I have to make the decision whether I want to remove from the top or remove from the bottom. And I believe that I want to remove from the top. I do believe. Yeah, the top. That way there's more flowers on it, right? All right, so there's my piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then we are going to take this strip right here and we are going to cut this down to 4 3/4. And this one I want to take off the bottom. So 4 3/4. This is going to be for the inside, believe it or not. And then we are going to make this 1 inch. It's going to be a 1 inch strip. So you're going to end up with 2 1 inch strips, and they're going to be 4 3/4 in height. Let's go ahead and set those aside, and we will start putting together our card front. Again, as with the last fractured card, the last thing that you're going to do is adhere it onto your card base. We are going to build it first. We're going to start with a focal point. So this time I'm using Old Olive, and I'm making my focal point smaller. I think this is only 1 1/2 inches. Yeah, it's a square, 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And I'm going to put it right here in the center, just like that. So we're going to use our focal point, and then we're going to build out from that. These cards really are so easy, but they look like they're a work of art. Like, I don't know why I don't make more of them. I should. So the strips that I'm using today, for my card base, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. So my strips are also Mossy Meadow. They are 1/4 inch strips. This is a perfect way to use up some of your scraps. When we start to adhere this, we have our focal point. When we start to adhere this, imagine that there is a line right here that you do not cross. We are going to put our first strip right there. It's going to go off the edge of your page, and that's okay, but it's going to stop right at the edge of that square, okay? You can either add the glue. If you're good about doing it in a line, you can add the glue straight to your paper. If you are concerned about it, add the glue to the back of your strip. You don't need a lot of glue on these. Sometimes people use so much glue and I'm like, listen, you're not putting together a Boeing 737. It is a card. It is going to go in the mail, but it's not going to like be flying on the outside of a plane. We're okay. Take it easy on the glue. All right. And again, see what we're doing? We're going right around and we are just creating our different quadrants here. Keep going. Last one. I decided I'm doing this card different than I did for my classes. I'm going to finish it off differently. Kind of making it up as I go along, quite honestly. But hopefully it'll be beautiful. Got something on that. There we go. So now you can see why they call this a faux shutter card, because it almost looks like a camera shutter, right? We are going to turn it over and we are going to cut the edges, the excess pieces of our strips. We're just going to cut those right off. How's that? Now, let's do a die, right? Let's do a die cut. Let's bring in, I'm gonna use the Thoughtful Wishes dies, and I am gonna use this one, I do believe, yes. I'm gonna use that one. Set this aside for a moment. This is the card that we did in class, but I decided I didn't want to do the black on there. I am not putting a sentiment on the front of it. Sometimes it's nice to have a card that has no sentiment at all. And that way you can use it for whatever you need to use it for, whether it be a thinking of you or I miss you, or it doesn't matter. If there's no sentiment on it, it's always available to use. So, and I have friends who really just love to bless their friends and family with cards. So they are always buying my just thinking of you, or just because cards, I call them, the just because cards. So we are going to put this in the mini die cutter. Voila. Put that bad boy away. Try not to be so loud with it. All right. Let's see what we have here. And I found a piece of ribbon. I keep scraps of everything. I really am a scrapbooker at heart. Like in the pure form of the word, scrapping with everything. Like I keep everything, to the point that it sometimes gets overwhelming and I have to learn to let things go. Boy, I really did get that stuck in there, didn't I? Poke that out in the holes. I do have the die brush that I could bring over here to get this out if I need to. There we go. Perfect. How pretty is that? That's in Blackberry Bliss. I love Blackberry Bliss. It's one of my favorites. And you put Blackberry Bliss together with Old Olive or Mossy Meadow, and I'm telling you, it's just beautiful. It's one of my favorite color combinations. If you followed me long enough, then you know my other favorite color combination is Night of Navy and, oh my goodness, the name of it, Pool Party. Night of Navy and Pool Party. Or Pumpkin Pie and any pink, any bright pink. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it. So we're not going to be putting anything else and have to cut anything else off of the edge of this. So I'm safe to be able to go ahead and put this on my card base. So we're gonna bring our mossy meadow in, and we are going to crease it with our bone folder in half. There we go. We are gonna add some glue. But I love Blackberry Bliss with those greens. It's just so pretty. Now, I have to decide. I think I will. In class, so for the class, I cut mine down so that it stays within that focal square. And one of the ladies in my class actually left hers long, and I really liked the look of it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I just love getting together with other fellow crafters and people. They might start off a class by saying, I've never done this before, I have no idea what I'm doing. But you just let them go and their creativity just comes out, and sometimes it just really surprises you. Don't think I want to use a glue dot on that. I thought I did, but I think I'm just gonna dab it with some glue. So we're just gonna put glue onto the flower spots here. Again, you are not holding together a 737. It's okay. It's not going anywhere. And I want to do it off kilter. I think I want to do it straight up and down. There we go. Decisions, decisions. My goodness. All right. Let that set here for a second. So yeah, I had a scrap of this ribbon from something. I have no idea what it was from, but we may as well use it, right? It was just hanging over by my other ribbon. If I could make a bow, my goodness. Some days I'm great with bows, other days not so much. Today is a not so much day. Not sure that I like that. All right, I'm scrapping the bow. We're gonna do this a different way. Some days I do it the old way. Some days I do it rabbit ears. But I'll tell you, if I could hire somebody full-time to just make bows for me, that'd be awesome. There, I like that one better. See, sometimes the rabbit ears just work out better. So we are going to, this time I'm gonna bring in that glue dot, and I am going to, I like this side. No, I like this side better. I'm gonna push my knot into the glue dot. So the glue dot's gonna come off, and I'm going to put it right there. All right, bring in our snips, snip the edges. There you go. What do you think? Again, so much easier than the previous version that I showed you. And it's a matter of just using a piece of paper that has just a beautiful background. There is no need to cut it up and piece it together. There's no need. Just use it as the background. Put your focal point down. Take your bones, your 2x4s out each direction. And then just add sentiment or whatever else you would like to add to it, and just let that background paper do the work for you. I hope you enjoyed today's card, and I hope that you will join me for the next one. It is a showstopper. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So happy stamping. I'll see you back again.